wonderful to have the opportunity to talk to you today. Hope everybody's doing well and you're healthy and everything's going okay.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate your time. Nick and I have been doing it all day now, so yeah, good times.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, congratulations on the film. And Omid, let's
Thank
just
you.
start with you because as I was writing in my notes when I started to watch this movie, it all starts with a suitcase.
That's right.
Yeah, it all starts with a suitcase. And I was wondering, we were talking before Nick joined us, and you were, you're good friends with Josh, the director, and stuff. What was it about this story? Because boy, does it ever put you through the ringer. So how did you decide? Like, yeah, okay, I'm going to take this role on. It's a toughie.
It is. It was. When you watch the film, you'll realize that we don't take ourselves too serious. So we have people like Nick who are amazing comic reliefs, and
Yes.
you have those dark comedic moments too, where an audience watches it and goes, "Oh yeah, okay, it's not just another mindless action film that just does boom boom and gun shooting for no reason." It was. The thing was that Josh and I, we created our company, our Turbo Panda Productions, in 2013. We did a short called Raw Brute,
Yeah.
where I was the lead in as well, and that kind of gave us a next natural progression of our careers, because we both started in stunts, and he's been second unit directing and stunt coordinating, and I've been doing stunts coordinating, and this was kind of the next natural progression for us. So we decided to take that short and conceptualize what you see in Overrun today, and that's what kind of created it.
Right. And Nicholas, for you, I mean, my God, hello, been watching you for a million years. We're going to talk NYPD Blue at the end because never missed an episode of that show. I loved that show, but I digress. What is it for you now when you get a script? Like, what goes off in your head to go, yeah, I'm going to do that one. This was fun to watch you in this one.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do some things for the money. Sometimes you do it because it looks like a fun part. Or sometimes you go, wow, this is a really good movie and I'd love to be in it. So it varies on why, you do things, because everybody likes to work. Everybody likes to keep busy. But I like to do things that are funny. I do have like some comic chops because I'm tired of just doing, like boring, cop dramatic roles. I like something that has a little bit of both.
Sure.
And this was like a fun group. It was a blast. It was a quick one for me, but it was something I had a good time doing. I mean, sometimes you go out and you do a small part and it's like, it is what it is. But I had a good time doing this, and you never know what it's going to be like. I saw the trailer and I said, wow, it looks good.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, where am I? He goes, oh, there I am. So I was like,
I made it into the cut. All right.
Oh yeah, we definitely had to. I mean, and he was wonderful to work with.
Well, I was going to say, like, you guys have most of your scenes together, and and there's a good chemistry there. And you, as you said, he is the comic relief. There's a couple of lines where I just burst out laughing, and you need that in this movie. So what was it like? Had you guys met before, or was that the first time you guys worked together?
No, we just met, and we were in some junkyard, and in the middle of nowhere, and
yeah.
he was very nice to work with. The director was very nice, and it's very hard sometimes to just plop in because you're not in the whole movie, so you don't feel like you have a big stake in it. So you kind of have to learn how to do these kind of like smaller roles, and it's like sometimes they're even harder than when you have a bigger role, because then you at least have a chance to have a little bit of a a through line in the movie, and you feel like you can go. But I've done a lot of these kind of smaller things where I feel like, it is what it is, and you make the best of it. But it's not always the easiest or the most rewarding thing to do. But I did have a good time working with Omid and the
Josh,
director, Josh, and and we were, having a lot of fun, and a lot of the times I was like almost acting by myself, and
right,
whatever they were.
You and your screens and your technology.
Yeah. We just it was a good time. It was a good time. So I mean,
Bonnie, I wish we had more time. I wish we had more time. Our resources, unfortunately, and time was so limited. We shot the entire film in 15 days.
That's crazy.
So it was an insane schedule. But everyone seemed really happy. The crew was happy. We made sure that the food was good.
Wow.
Fed crew is a happy crew, and a happy
Yeah.
crew is a productive crew. So,
Right.
and it was nice, man, because you don't hear this too often on indies. Just for people to be happy, and some people are looking forward to coming to work, which again you just don't hear on small little indies, and it just makes me feel good as first as a producer, and then as a castmate of someone like Nick, but people like him, people like Bruce, William Cadd, Johnny Mesner,
Yeah.
Bruce Stern, these guys really elevate me also, because it is my first time leading a film, and I obviously have my doubts, and going from lead producer to lead actor, trying to switch those roles back and forth, it definitely had its challenges, but being surrounded by guys like Nick and Bruce and Bill and Johnny, it really elevated me. So they really helped me out, whether they know it or not.
Well, I'm sure they do. And yeah, you all, like I said, there was good chemistry with everybody in this film. But Omid, I got to ask you, because I stopped counting. What was the freaking body count on this film? Like,
we don't like to think about it, but I think somewhere in there, it wasn't too bad. I think it's under like 20, maybe. It wasn't crazy. It was no, it was no Terminator or Commando. It wasn't an Arnie or Sly film, but
okay, that was pretty close there. Pretty close.
The other thing was we wanted to make sure that the action isn't just mindless because of the limited. So whatever you do see, it's actually telling the story and helping the story move along.
Well, for sure. But, look, you're, like you said, you start with stunts, you're a stunt guy, you can take a punch, whatever. But is there ever any worry about being injured? I mean, there's a lot of fighting going on in this film.
Absolutely. I mean, knock on wood, we had 0 incidents, and, you get the occasional little tap here and there, but nothing detrimental that we had to stop filming for, and nobody went to the hospital, thank God. But again, this is what happens when you surround yourself. You prep it correctly, and then you surround yourself with pros. A lot of our actors are stunt actors, so
right.
They already had the stunt background. So it makes it a lot easier not to have to get a stunt double. So now you have double coverage, trying to cover someone's face. Everything was relatively wide. You can see what's going on, and that really helps when you have stunt pros like that. But there's absolutely always the fear of injuries, obviously, because we're not sitting there playing chess. There's pyro going on. There's fights. There are weapons.
Yeah.
There's gunfire. But if you do it correctly, you have your safety meetings. You have everyone's on board. Everyone knows exactly what's going on every inch of the set. Then you're good to go.
Good stuff. Nicholas, fess up. Are you like jealous that you didn't get to like punch anybody out?
Nah, that's okay.
You're happy?
I'm not on a macho trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't do that. I've done my share of physical stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes, you have. And let's just go back into your amazing history, because like I said, you've been doing this for a long, long time. And of course, I even prior to NYPD Blue, I knew and watched you and things. And but when you're working on a series like that, and you're working with actors like Dennis Franz and Caruso and like all these guys, how does that shape you as an actor? How did that kind of kick off your career? And what do you learn from people like that?
Oh, no, that's a good question. I mean, I learned a lot. I mean, I had relatively been just like kind of a part-time actor by the time when I got that job. I had been doing a few movies. I had done a few plays when I was still a doorman, but I was working at it for like 3 or 4 years part-time. And then when I got that job, I was like, wow, this is a chance to be a full-time actor.
Yeah.
I'm going to retire being a doorman and give this a shot. And then when I got there, I seen the quality of these guys like Caruso, Franz, McDaniel, and then Steve Bochco, David Milch, this guy Greg Hoblet.
Yeah.
These guys were on a different level. So I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like a nervous wreck. I go, I hope I don't suck. I mean, I got this job for a reason.
Yeah.
And I could tell that these guys were all seasoned. And so I was just like trying to blend in and watch and soak it up. I was always a good sponge early on. I was always a quick learner. And I saw what level this was at. And I saw that David Caruso was like, he was really exciting. And, a few times I could tell he liked me, and I'd say, hey man, am I okay? Am I doing, and sometimes you check with a guy because you feel like the guy was enjoying you. So he would be like, no, you're really you got something beautiful going on. So, you know, like you get little, and then it helps you to have encouragement, because when you're young, you're doing a lot of things by accident. You're learning, and you don't, you know, these other guys are more polished in front of the camera, but working with those guys and working on a series, it teaches you, you know, you really learn a lot. You learn a lot. And it was like feature television. And you got encouraged, you know, and it was so good too. And when the show came out, it was like, wow, it's great. And you're good in it. And I was like, really? Wow. You know, like I was like, you know, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about, oh boy, I hope I had 7 out of 13,
Right.
which meant, you know, they could have gotten rid of me if they didn't like me.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it. And one guy goes, don't unpack your bags, kid. And I was like, I didn't even think about that guy. I was just like, well, I wound up doing like 20 out of the first 20 to, you know, 22 or whatever. So I was like, okay, I made it. I made the first season, you know, and then, you know, and then we got nominated for Emmys. I was like, and then you're nominated. And I was like, wow.
Yes.
I mean, you know, but I wasn't thinking about, you know, how, you know, impactful this show was going to be. And it was exciting. And not only exciting, but it was also, I was like going to school. I was like going to school, and I was learning, because I'd been doing it a few years, you know, but I wasn't doing it like as long as some of these guys that were really seasoned.
Yeah.
But you know, that's how you learn, man. That's how that was a great place to learn with great people on television.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a groundbreaking series, no question about it. And what's so cool too now about streaming is that there are people who are just discovering, you know, that, and it shows like for the first time, you know, I just find that so amazing. Like you look back at shows like The Sopranos, like just all these amazing TV series. And then you talk about people who are just discovering them now. That's got to be so fulfilling for an actor, like on both your levels, to have worked on something, you know, and kids or teens or whoever are just discovering these things now because of these streaming services.
Yeah, it's definitely a changed world, and obviously that really helps indie filmmakers like myself, and it really gives us platforms. So you know, obviously, so Overrun comes out August 17th on all platforms where you can rent or buy a film, and that right there puts us up there. I'm not going to say we're competing with the studios, but at least we sort of kind of have a fighting chance now to where, hey, we can be seen, obviously by a smaller crowd, but it's always nice to have the outlets, and you know, with the help of people like yourself, and try to put the word out there. So we're really appreciative of this, and yeah, the stream set. And to go back to what Nick was saying, I remember there was a moment when we were in this trailer, and there was this one line, I can't remember the exact line, but I just, for whatever reason, it wasn't clicking, and Nick was just talking about learning from guys like Caruso. And he literally, I don't know if he remembers it, but he goes, "Hey kid, just throw it away."
Yeah.
And it just clicked. It just clicked. And I was like, that's the difference between seasoned, pro, rookie, you know, and Nick's definitely seasoned. So right there, and it just clicked. It was amazing. It was such a nice moment.
See?
Yeah, you know, I always feel like I still have a little bit of amateur in me too. So I was like, it's always good, as much as you think you know, to never lose kind of that feeling like I just started.
Right.
Because that's kind of like, you know, you do a lot of things early in your career, and you look back at those when you're younger and you go, wow, how did I do that? I mean, that was really, I don't even know if I could do that today, because, you know, you're just like kind of there's a bit of an amateur in you still. Not, you know what I mean? But you don't want to lose that, you know, no matter how much you know. But from doing it for a lot of years, you could tell when somebody just needs to relax, or maybe just, you know, get out of your head, you know, and sometimes that's what you need. You just need that, you know. I mean, so I'm always still a fan too. Like, it's always good to be a fan too. Like, I don't want to lose that. I don't want to think like, well, you know, I like, you know, so wow. And then, you know, if you're working with someone that's a big star, you kind of have to get past that and go, oh well, I'm actually working with this guy now. So all right, I'm a fan. But, you know, I got to do my job. Right. You know, so you know, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, it's like anything, nervous energy. You know, you use it, and sometimes something good comes out of it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, but
oh no, for sure. I mean, look. You've worked with some guys. Burt Reynolds. I mean, how do you get on a set with Burt Reynolds and not fanboy?
Oh, I was like, you know, Burt Reynolds, you know, the Marlboro Man, and I'm like, wow, I'm working with Uncle Bert. He was like, Uncle Bert. I go, yeah, you remind me of my Uncle Mike. And he was kind of mean. He goes, is that a good? I go, no, I like my Uncle Mike, but you have that macho. And he was like, you're all right, kid. You got it. And I was like,
Amazing.
you know, Burt Reynolds told me I got it. I was like, I must have something. That was good. That was good. You know, you like to hear that from the guys that you love, you know. I mean, and then sometimes it could go the other way. You could work with a director that, you know, I worked with Oliver Stone one time. He made everybody feel like you were this big.
Yeah.
You know, but like you didn't know what the hell you were doing. The guy would just destroy you. This guy sucks. You suck. You were off camera. You're looking in the camera like, no, you're crazy. Right. This guy's like, you know, people can play with your mind too. You let them.
Yes.
You know, like,
you have to have a hard show.
Not everybody's like that. You know.
No, I know. I can imagine. I can imagine. Well, listen, guys, I know you're in big demand and it's a busy day, but I really do appreciate your time today. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you both. And the film is a lot of fun. So best of luck with it. And just stay safe and healthy. And maybe one day we'll all meet in person.
Once the craziness is over. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. Please follow Instagram, Overrun Film, and Omid Zader across all platforms, and our production company, Turbo Panda Productions.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay.
Thanks, Connie.
Okay, bye-bye.
Nick, you're going into Darren next.